So happy to welcome all of you for today's session. And I have a set of few guidelines for all the participants. As and when you have any questions, please type it in Q&A session. And if you find any technical difficulty during the program, please send it in the chat box so that our technical team will be able to handle it for you. And over to Anita ma'am.
Sure, ma'am.
Is Gayathri there? I don't
Yes,
know why
yes, she's there.
Yeah,
I'm
ma'am.
not able to see
Yeah,
Gayathri.
she's there.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So I'm very excited and it's a pleasure to welcome you all to the campus to have our alumni on this panel discussion. I'm very excited to see Gauri and the twins because they are always in touch with us. And they are, as members of they are office bearers of the KCG Connect Alumni Association, pillars of support. So welcome Gauri and Arun Aravind. I'm excited for the opposite reason to see Gayathri and Prem. I can't see Prem on the screen right now, but Prem was the first batch. He belongs to the first batch of students that I taught when I came to KCG. So, Prem and his friends, they're a special soft spot for them since they're the first batch. And Gayathri also, again, I have warm memories of Gayathri and, her friends. And it's so nice. Welcome, Prem. Welcome, Gayathri, to this panel discussion. It's wonderful to have all five of you here on virtually on campus. Yeah, Gayathri, I'm going to start with you.
Sure, ma'am.
I didn't even know, frankly, that there were these career guidance government counseling centers. I was not even aware that it was there. So what is the structure? There is a Ministry of Labor and Employment, and then where do you all fit in?
Yeah, ma'am. It is under the measure of Ministry of Labor and Employment. We have a separate wing for that career guidance. So throughout India, we have set up model career center for this. So enhancing the unemployment youth skill through skill centers, through job fairs, and through counselings and through psychometric counselings with the MOUs of University of UK, University of US and all. So we have so many of psychometric tools for them to analysis them for psychology analysis also. So it's a part of.
Very interesting. How did you land this job, and what actually are your responsibilities?
Yeah, ma'am. It is very interesting story. It is because of after our KCG, I went for UG, and then I worked as an 6 years as professor. After that, in 2015, a Supreme Court GO has passed regarding the government jobs. It should be open quota to all. So it should be publicized throughout the India. So whatever the government job should be. So either it should be in print media or digital media. So print media, it will be there for your local newspapers and employment newspapers. But in digital media, so we created a platform which is known as www.ncs.gov.in. So this is our working stream. So I'm working in this project. So it is direct recruitment by the ministry, by the UPSC. So we got appointment from the Bandaru Dattatreya, Labor Ministry, former Labor Ministry.
You wrote which exam?
UPSC online exam, ma'am. It is known as departmental exams conducted by every department.
Okay.
So, the thing is basically all of you of them think is UPSC means IAS, IPS, that alone. It is not true.
Exactly.
It is not true. So we have departmental exams in UPSCs where there is no age limit. So at the age of 50 also you can write the exam for that. Yeah. Yes, sure, ma'am. You're welcome to write that exams. Sure.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So we have a lot of opportunities in there. So I landed there. So it was a tedious process, 1 year exams. So online exams, so many interviews, and last interview by the ministry itself. So Labor Ministry itself. So he interviewed us, and we got selected 26 out of 80. So it was starting from 8 lakhs online exam. So filtered. So we got 26. So 26 we posted throughout the India. So we are working for unemployment youth through job fairs, career counselings, career exhibitions, seminars. For both defense sector also, we are working for them Indian Army rally, Navy and Air Force also, we are working for that.
Amazing. So suppose my students, that is engineering graduates, what kind of job opportunities are there for them in the government sector?
Yeah, we have lots of government opportunities, ma'am. Now after the lockdown, they are going to release the sectors of wise. Mainly for mechanical civil, it is in public heavy industries. We have 93 companies launching their career programs. So the main entrance is GATE exam. So they should clear the GATE, and then only they can apply for the post. It's like Indian Oil Corporation, ONGC, then Bharat Petroleum. We have lot of things that is known as Navaratna companies. They are known as under the Ministry of Public Heavy Industries. We have lot of things. Other than that, we have Ministry of Waters, we have Jal Shakti, Ministry of Fertilizer, next Ministry of Chemical Fertilizer, Ayush and all. So we have 91 ministries there. We have lot of opportunity for the engineers. And the survey is November 2019, we took a survey that what is the thing is, most of the highest officers in the government sector, both it may be central or state, they are engineers, BE graduates only. So that's the thing. So you have lot of opportunities. All the thing is in your hand. The one and only website is www.ncs.gov.in. So it is a full encyclopedia for all the sectors where you can see the career opportunities, scholarship, higher studies opportunities, and various form of employment activities there. You can see that.
Can you give us a site once more, Gayathri?
Yeah, www.ncs, National Career Service, ncs.gov.in.
So all information that is required is there. How they should be. Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, they should clear the GATE exam and then look at the opportunities and apply, is it?
Yeah, it's
and write that test.
Yeah, this is
One
for no ma'am. The GATE is only for the public heavy industries.
Okay.
If they didn't prefer for the GATE, they can write general exams like Indian Engineering Service IES. It is eligible only for civil, mechanical, EEE and ECE. So you can write that Indian Engineering Service. And in Tamil Nadu, we have Combined Engineering Service, CS. It will be there in the month of July or August. The notification will be there. So you can go for that.
Thanks, Gayathri. From you, I'm going to go to the opposite end of the spectrum, from government sector to our own very celebrities. Okay. Even when I asked Gayathri, Arun Aravind, I told Gayathri that, you may not know our juniors, Arun Aravind. She said, yes, I know them. Vijay TV fame. So that is it. So yeah, exactly. So everybody seems to know you, Arun Aravind. So I remember you first came back to the campus after you graduated. It was, I think, after the Nirbhaya case. Do you remember?
Yes, ma'am. Say no to rape.
You were part of the Say No to Rape campaign.
Yes.
I remember, when you all came, I was little. We did feel that it was a topic that needs to be discussed, but I was still, a little wary when we set up that whole, what shall I say, meeting with all of you. But then so many students opened up, both boys and girls, and they spoke from their heart. It was a very good experience. Were you already involved with the entertainment industry when you came that time?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, in third year, we start ma'am. College படிக்கும்போது third year நாங்க entertainment industry டச்ல இருந்தோமே தவிர நாங்க reality shows ட்வின்ஸ்ங்கறதுனால போயிட்டு வந்துட்டு இருந்தோம். பட் அதுதான் லைஃப், அப்படிதான் போக போறோங்கிற ஒரு தாட்லாம் அப்ப கிடையாது. சோ காலேஜ் படிக்கும்போது ஜஸ்ட் ஒரு டைம் பாஸ்க்காக ஜாயின் பண்ணிருந்தோம். After college,
tell us a little bit about your journey. How you reached where you are now? Guest speakers everywhere, known faces everywhere. I'm sure people asking you autographs everywhere. How did you reach here?
Yeah. 2011 passed out. 2000 முடிச்சிட்டு மெக்கானிக்கல் முடிச்சிட்டு வெளில வந்தோன்னா டைரக்டா கோர் இண்டஸ்ட்ரிக்கு தான் போனோம். ஸோ ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டிவிஎஸ் ஜாயின் பண்ணோம், 1 year அங்க. அப்புறம் வந்துட்டு ஃப்ரெண்டோட கம்பெனி ஒன்று இருந்துச்சு. ஸோ எங்களோட சப்போர்ட் கேட்டாங்க, சேர்ந்து டெவலப் பண்ணலாம்னு சொல்லிட்டு. ஸோ ஓன் கம்பெனி ஃப்ரெண்டோட வச்சிருந்தாங்க. நியர்லி வந்து ஒரு 2 crores டர்ன் ஓவர் பண்ணிட்டு இருந்த கம்பெனி ஒரு 1 yearல வந்து நியர்லி 5 crores டர்ன் ஓவர் ஆகிற அளவுக்கு நாங்க 3 பேரும், நானு அருண் பிளஸ் ஃப்ரெண்ட், நாங்க 3 பேர் சேர்ந்து அவங்க கம்பெனியை வந்து ஒர்க் பண்ணோம். பட் அதுக்குள்ள அவ்வளவுதான் முடியும். ஸோ அதுக்கப்புறம் க்ரோத் எதுவுமே கிடையாது. ஒரு சின்ன இடம், அதை மேக்ஸிமம் பண்ணியாச்சு. ஸோ அதுக்கப்புறம் பார்த்தா ஒரு சாட்டிஸ்ஃபேக்ஷன் இல்லை, மெக்கானிக்கல்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஒரு மாதிரியே போயிட்டு இருந்துச்சு. ஓகே, நம்ம படிச்சிட்டோம் இன்ஜினியரிங், பட் வந்து படிச்சதை தாண்டி பிடிச்சதை பண்ணா கொஞ்சம் இன்னும் பெட்டரா இருக்கும் லைஃப் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு தான் வேற பக்கம் ஃபோக்கஸ் பண்ண ஆரம்பிச்சோம். பார்ட் டைமா வந்து என்டர்டைன்மெண்ட் இண்டஸ்ட்ரியில வந்து ஜஸ்ட் ஒரு பார்ட் டைம் ஆஃப்டர் 6 o'clock வந்து நிறைய பார்ட் டைம் ஒர்க் எல்லாம் பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தோம். ஸோ ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் எல்லாம் இருந்தாங்க, மீடியா கோஆர்டினேட்டரா பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தோம். நாங்க உள்ள போக தான் நிறைய பேர் சொன்னாங்க, நீங்க டபுளா இருக்கிறதுனால இந்த இடத்துக்கு இந்த ஒரு நீட் இருக்கு. ஸோ உங்களோட கம்யூனிகேஷன் நல்லா இருக்கு, நீங்க வந்து ரெண்டுத்துக்கும் லிங்கா ஒரு விஷயம் பண்ண முடியும்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் தான் அட்வைஸ் பண்ணாங்க. ஸோ உள்ள போய் பார்க்கும்போது தான் தெரிஞ்சிச்சு, எப்படி வெளியில ஈவெண்ட் ஆர்கனைசர்லாம் இருக்காங்களோ அதே மாதிரி மீடியாக்குள்ள ஆர்கனைசர்ஸ் இல்லாம இருந்துச்சு. 2013-14 வந்து மீடியால அது ஒரு பெரிய லேகிங்கா இருந்துச்சு. அதை கிராப் பண்ணிக்கிட்டா கண்டிப்பா ஒரு லைஃப் இருக்கும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஒரு சின்ன ஸ்பார்க் தான் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் அட்வைஸ் பண்ணாங்க. ஸோ அப்படிதான் வந்து விஜய் டிவில ஒரே ஒரு ஷோ 2014 எண்ட்ல ஒரு ஷோ, ஒரு பெரிய ஷோ கலக்க போது யாருன்னு சொல்லிட்டு அதுல ஒர்க் பண்றதுக்கு ஒரு லக்கியா தான் கிடைச்சிச்சு. நிறைய பெரிய பீப்புள் எல்லாம் இருந்தேன். எங்களோட கம்யூனிகேஷனால அந்த வாய்ப்பை வந்து ஒரே ஒரு நாளுக்கு எங்களுக்கு கொடுத்தாங்க. ஸோ அங்க ப்ரூவ் பண்ணோம், ஓகே எங்களால முடியும், பண்ண முடியும்னு சொல்லிட்டு. ஸோ அதுக்கான மெயின் வந்து ஒரு என்ன ஹெல்ப் பண்ணுச்சுன்னு சொன்னா, அதுக்கு முன்னாடி நாங்க ஏர்ன் பண்ண கான்டாக்ட்ஸ் தான். ஸோ எங்க போனாலும் யார்கிட்ட பேசினாலும் நிறைய கான்டாக்ட் சேவ் பண்ணி வச்சுப்போம், நிறைய பேர்ட்ட இன்டராக்ட் பண்ணுவோம். 2014ல அந்த ஒரு ஷோக்கு வந்து எங்களுக்கு ஒரு 300 நியூ பீப்புள், 300 டிஃப்ரெண்ட் கைண்ட் ஆஃப் பீப்புள் தேவைப்பட்டாங்க. வெறும் 1 டேல அந்த 300 பீப்புளையும் நாங்க கேதர் பண்ணோம். அது வந்து சேனல்ல வந்து பெரிய ஒரு ஷாக்கா தான் பார்த்தேன், நேம் கிரியேட் பண்ணுச்சு. அந்த மாதிரி பண்ணவே முடியாது, எப்படி இவங்க 2 பேரும் பண்ணாங்க. அதுவும் அந்த டைம்ல ரொம்ப சின்ன பசங்க தான், காலேஜ் முடிச்சுட்டு 2 இயர்ஸ் தான் கேப். ஸோ அது வந்து பெரிய பொட்டன்ஷியலா தெரிஞ்சு. ஏன்னா நாங்க சும்மா விளையாட்டா தான் எல்லா கான்டாக்டையும் சேவ் பண்ணுவோம். ஒரு ஓலா கார்ல போனா கூட அந்த டிரைவர் நான் கூட நம்பர் சேவ் பண்ணிப்போம். ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி இருந்த கான்டாக்ட்ஸ் எல்லாத்தையும் சேனல் வாசல்ல கொண்டு வந்து இறக்கணும், இவ்வளவு பேர் இருக்காங்கன்னு சொல்லிட்டு. ஸோ அங்க ஸ்டார்ட் ஆனது ஒரு 1 இயர்ல நியர்லி வந்து ஒரு 10 ஷோஸ் கிட்ட கையில கொடுத்தாங்க. இது எல்லாமே என்னென்ன நீட் இருக்கோ அது பண்ணி கொடுங்க அப்படின்னு. ஸோ இப்போ ஒரு 5 இயர்ஸ்ல மோர் தென் 100 ரியாலிட்டி ஷோஸ் ஆர்கனைஸ் பண்ணியாச்சு. அண்ட் கிட்டத்தட்ட ஒரு ஒரு ஸ்மால் ஸ்கிரீன் பிக் ஸ்கிரீன் ஒர்க் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம். ஸோ எங்களோட ஜேர்னி அப்படிங்கிறது வந்து ஆரம்பிச்சது 2014ல ஒரு சின்ன ஒரு கோஆர்டினேட்டர்ங்கிறது ஒரு காலேஜ் கேட்டை திறந்து விடுற மாதிரி சின்னதா மீடியா கேட்டை திறந்து விட்டு வாங்கன்னு சொல்ற ஒரு ஜாப் தான். பட் இன்னைக்கு அந்த கேட்டுக்குள்ள அழைச்சிட்டு போற எல்லாருமே வந்து எங்க மூலமா போற அளவுக்கு நாங்க ஒரு பாத் ஒன்று ரெடி பண்ணி பில்ட் பண்ணி வச்சிருக்கிறோம். ஸோ அவ்வளவுதான்.
Okay, so networking is very important, Arun Aravind, that everything, yes. I am zero in that. Okay, so how do you do that? You said you interacted with people, you collected their contact numbers, and then how do you keep in touch with them? You make it a point?
Yeah, more of like 2 பேரா இருக்கிறதுனால தான் அது எங்களுக்கு அது பாசிபிளா இருந்தது. காரணம் வந்து நாங்க ஹெசிடேட் பண்ண மாட்டோம். நிறைய இப்ப இருக்கிற ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் ஆகட்டும் யாரா இருந்தாலுமே ஃபர்ஸ்ட் போயிட்டு பேசுறதுக்கு வந்து ஜஸ்ட் ஒரு சின்ன ஹெசிடேஷன் இருக்கும். எங்களை பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் நியூ ஆர் பீப்புள் இருக்காங்க, மேபி அது ஒரு நல்ல ப்ராடக்டா கண்ணுக்கு தெரியுறாங்கன்னு சொன்னா போய் அப்ரோச் பண்ணிடுவோம். அண்ட் வந்து நாங்க ஒரு ஃப்ரீக்வெண்டா இப்ப வந்து ஹாப்பி நியூ இயர், ஹாப்பி பர்த்டேன்னு அனுப்புறது மட்டும்தான் லைஃப் ஸ்டைலா இருக்கு. பட் எங்களை பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் வந்து அதை தாண்டி இன்னும் ஒரு கனெக்டிவிட்டியோட கூட இருப்போம். சிம்பிள் எக்ஸாம்பிள் சொல்லணும்னா, ஒரு ஷோ வந்து மார்னிங் ஷூட் பண்ண வேண்டிய ஒரு ஷோ வந்து அதோட செலிபிரிட்டிஸோட ஷூட் அது. பட் அன்னைக்கு யூனியன் ஸ்ட்ரைக்னால எந்த செலிபிரிட்டியும் வர முடியாதுன்னு சொல்லிட்டாங்க. அன்னைக்கு லாஸ் வந்து 10 lakhs வரைக்கும் ஆக வேண்டியது ஆயிடுச்சு. ஸோ டைரக்டர் கேட்கிறாரு, இந்த மாதிரி ஷோஸ் செலிபிரிட்டிஸ் வர மாட்டாங்க, காமன் பீப்புளை வச்சுதான் போகணும், என்ன கேட்டகரி உங்ககிட்ட இருக்கு கொண்டு வர முடியுமான்னு சொல்லிட்டு நிறைய நாங்க யாரை போய் சேவ் பண்ணாலும் அந்த கேட்டகரி கொடுப்போம். ஒரு ஹோட்டல்ல போய் சாப்பிடுறோம், நல்லா இருந்துச்சுன்னு சொன்னா அந்த ஹோட்டல்ல பார்த்த வெயிட்டரு, அந்த ஹோட்டல்ல பார்த்த ஓனர் யாரா இருந்தாலும் அவங்க நேம் போட்டு அந்த கேட்டகரி சேவ் பண்ணிப்போம். ஸோ நாங்க சொன்னோம் அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு 100 ஹோட்டல் ஓனர்ஸ் இருக்காங்க, அவங்களை கொண்டு வரலாமா அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு. அது எப்படி 100 ஹோட்டல் ஓனர்ஸ் கொண்டு வருவீங்க, அது எங்களுக்கு தேவை 30 தான், எப்படி 30 பீப்புள் வருவாங்க, இல்ல எங்களுக்கு 100 பேரை தெரியும், நான் கேட்டு பாக்குறேன்னு சொல்லிட்டு 2 ஹவர்ஸ்ல அந்த 100ல எல்லாரையும் கேட்டு 30 ஹோட்டல் ஓனர்ஸ் வந்து கொண்டு வந்து அந்த ஷோவோட நேமே வந்து ஹோட்டல் ஓனர்ஸ் பிளஸ் ஹோட்டல் கஸ்டமர்ஸ்னு சொல்லிட்டு நாங்களே வச்சிட்டோம். ஸோ இது எப்படி ஹெல்ப்ஃபுல்லா இருக்கும்லாம் தெரியாது. பட் எங்களை பத்தி எங்க லைஃப் ஸ்டைல்ல அது டெய்லி டே டு டே டிராவல்லே அதை வச்சிட்டோம். இந்த மாதிரி எங்க மொபைல்ல ஒரு 2000 ஓலா அண்ட் ஊபர் கேப் டிரைவர்ஸ் நம்பர்ஸ் இருக்கு மேம். ஸோ இது வந்து எங்களோட லைஃப் ஸ்டைலா நாங்க
ஆக்சுவலி இது வந்து ஜென்ரலா வந்து உங்க நம்பர் கொடுங்க அப்படி வாங்க கிடையாது. நம்ம பேசி பழகி அவங்களோட கேரக்டர் அனலைஸ் பண்ணதுக்கு அப்புறம் ஒரு ஃப்ரெண்டா சேவ் பண்றதுதான். சோ இது பிசினஸ்க்காக கிடையாது
மேம். நம்ம காலேஜ்ல இப்ப இருக்கிற ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இயர்ஸே மினிமம் ஒரு 30 பீப்புள் வந்து எங்க கான்டாக்ட்ல இருக்காங்க. இது வந்து டெய்லி காலேஜ் வந்து பழம் கிடையாது. பட் எங்கேயோ ஒரு இடத்துல பேசி வாங்கி வச்சுக்கிறது தான். ஸோ எங்க 2011, 2020 9 இயர்ஸ் ஜூனியரோட 30 பேர் எனக்கு தெரியும். ஸோ இப்போ வந்து ஃப்ரெஷர்ஸ், இன்ஜினியரிங் ஃப்ரெஷர்ஸ் வேணும்னு கேட்டாங்கன்னா நம்ம காலேஜ் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இயர்ஸ்ல இருந்து ஒரு 30 பேரை தூக்குற அளவுக்கு கேதர் பண்ணி வச்சிருக்கோம்.
But suppose one of our students, because they want to enter the entertainment industry, என்ன டிப்ஸ் கொடுப்பாங்க அவருக்கு?
ஒண்ணே ஒண்ணு, உங்களுக்கு அது பேஷன் இருக்குன்னு சொன்னா ஜஸ்ட் பாப்புலாரிட்டி இல்லாம அதுதான் ஃபீல்டுன்னு முடிவு பண்ணிட்டாங்கன்னா அவங்களுக்கு எந்த நிறைய குரூப் கேட்டகரிஸ் இருக்கு மேம். கேமராமேன், பேக் ஸ்டேஜ் ஒர்க்கர்ஸ் எல்லாம் இருக்காங்க. எதுன்னு தெரிஞ்சு வச்சுக்கணும், ஃபோக்கஸ்டா இருக்கணும். நாங்க கொடுக்குற டிப்ஸ் ஒன்னே ஒண்ணுதான், நீங்க வந்தீங்கன்னா அடுத்த நாளே அந்த விஷயம் கிடைச்சிடாது. ஸோ பேஷன்ஸ் ரொம்ப ரொம்ப முக்கியம். அதை தாண்டி நம்ம பழகுற விதம் தான் நமக்கு அந்த ப்ராஜெக்ட்ஸை கொடுக்கும் மேம். ஸோ மேனர்ஸ் அண்ட் மேனரிசம், ஐ மீன் பேஷன்ஸ் ரெண்டுமே வந்து முக்கியம். அண்ட் நிறைய ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டிஸ் இருக்கு, நிறைய வைட் ரேஞ்ச் ஆஃப் ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டிஸ் இருக்கு. கண்டிப்பா ஆசையோட வரவங்களுக்கு ஒரு வாழ்க்கை வந்து ஈஸியா கிடைக்கும் மேம். டிப்ஸுங்கிறது ஒன்னே ஒன்று தான். இன்ஜினியரிங் நான் வந்து ஒயிட் கலர் ஜாப் தான் பார்ப்பேன்னு சொல்லிட்டு மீடியாக்குள்ள என்ட்ரு ஆனாங்கன்னா கண்டிப்பா ஒயிட் கலர் ஜாப் இருக்காது. ஸோ அந்த ஒயிட் கலர் கீழே கழட்டி வச்சுட்டு கொஞ்சம் வேலைகள்லாம் பார்த்தாதான் திருப்பி சட்டையை மாட்ட முடியும். ஸோ அதனால வந்து வேலை செய்யறதுக்கு ரெடியா இருக்கணும்.
So கொஞ்சம் humility வேணும். Humility, manners, patience.
Hey dude, give me a job அப்படின்னு அந்த பையன் கேட்காம, அண்ணன் நான் வேலைக்கு வேணும், என்னென்ன நான் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு இறங்கி வந்தாங்கன்னு சொன்னா கண்டிப்பா உங்களுக்கு.
ஏன்னா நம்ம காலேஜ்ல அது இருக்கு. நான் ஆக்சுவலி அந்த பசங்க ஏன் இந்த ஜென்ரேஷன்னா நாங்க ரீசெண்டா ஒரு கான்வர்சேஷன் வச்சோம். நம்ம காலேஜ் பசங்க அது வந்திருந்தாங்க. ஸோ நாங்க பேசி முடிச்சோன்னா, டியூட் நானும் கேசிஜி தான், எனக்கும் அந்த ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி கொடுத்துருங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு மாமா மச்ச மாதிரி தான் இருந்தாங்க. சொன்னேன் எல்லாம் கரெக்ட் தான் அண்ணன் அப்படின்னு கேட்டா, நானும் கேசிஜி தான். சரி ஓகே, இது கான்வர்சேஷன் ரொம்ப ப்ரொஃபஷனலா இருக்கிறதுனால நான் அப்படியே சொல்றேன். பட் வந்து அதுதான் மேம், கொஞ்சம் அந்த விஷயம் இந்த ஜென்ரேஷன் கிட்ட டேக் இட் ஃபார் கிராண்டட் ரொம்ப ஈஸியா இருக்கு. அதெல்லாம் தள்ளி வச்சுட்டு ப்ரொஃபஷனலிசமா அண்ட் ரொம்ப ரெஸ்பெக்டடா இருந்தாங்கன்னு சொன்னா மீடியால பெரிய growth போலாம். ஏன்னா அது மெயின் திங். அங்க
But lot of opportunities are there.
நிறைய இருக்கு மேம், நிறையவே இருக்கு.
All right. So from entertainment industry, I'm coming to the senior most panelist.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So Prem, I remember you telling me after you graduated, you joined Micromen. And
Correct.
then now you have founded two companies, Quick Coach and Real Tycon, right?
Correct.
So
Yes, ma'am.
how did you, today on campus we have, can you hear me? Because my connection seems to be a little unstable. Am I clear?
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah. I can hear you.
So,
ma'am.
today on campus, we have IEDC, that is, Innovation, Entrepreneurship, Development Cell. We have a TBI, Technology Business Incubator, all that we have very active now on campus. But when you graduated in 2008, we didn't have any of those, right? So you joined Micromen, and then what made you decide to become an entrepreneur? What opportunities did you see?
Yes, ma'am. So one thing which I'd like to say is I've always had that entrepreneurial mindset even during college. So while I was actually in college, I was working on a few other ideas as well. So initially, I started off my career as a director or an implementation expert for Micromen in 2008. Actually, even in my final year, I started working for my dad's company, and I got a very clear understanding of what to expect and the kind of people I am dealing with. So first, when we started off the company, Micromen was a 20-25 member company, and we used to provide ERP and CRM for builders and contractors as such. That was the main bread and butter of our company as such. So it's been a tough while. It's been a journey where Micromen is currently 100-seater company. We have close to 300 builders and contractors whom we provide the ERP solutions for. So the journey has been extremely good as such. So with regards to my other two companies as such, so Quick Coach is another. Quick Coach, I would say, is a spin-off of what we did in Micromen. So there has been a huge gap in the industry where the procurement of materials, in the procurement of materials and e-commerce as such, there has been a huge gap where builders actually found it extremely tough to procure materials online in a systematic and in a process-oriented manner. So through Quick Coach, what I did was I aggregated close to 300 to 400 suppliers across Chennai and Bangalore, across several categories like electrical, plumbing, hardware. And I made the entire procurement process extremely seamless and completely automated, because there is a lot of pilferage and favoritism that happens in the industry, and a lot of undercutting action as well. So this Quick Coach completely eliminated it, and I was chosen as in an accelerator called Brigade REAP Accelerator. Brigade is a huge concern in Bangalore as such. So out of 200 plus companies which did tech-related products for real estate, I was chosen in the particular cohort, and I was shortlisted in the top 3 as such for this particular startup as such. So this is with regards to Quick Coach. And with regards to my other startup is Real Tycon. So Real Tycon is basically a digital marketing and a data analytics firm. So a lot of credit actually has to go to my co-founder Vamsi Bhogi for actually for actually convincing me, and we were actually discussing about this particular startup for very long. And this particular startup, digital marketing startup, was born out of necessity rather than us planning, and it actually happened very organically. So myself and Vamsi were actually working on a real estate broker aggregator app for real estate. So we plan to aggregate brokers across several locations and make the entire broking process very seamless. So that's how we actually started going out speaking to brokers and real estate companies. And what we understood was there was a very little to no understanding about digital marketing. And when we were actually explaining about the app, we understood that there was a huge gap in the understanding of digital marketing, and there was a huge, I felt there was a requirement as well. So that's when we started Real Tycon 2 years back, and and currently we have 50 live clients who've been using our services, and I'm happy to say that even KCG is our client currently.
So, Prem, is there any specific challenge that you remember as that which you had to overcome as an entrepreneur?
Of course, ma'am. So, as an entrepreneur, there are every day is a challenge, to be really honest. So, even today, the current situation, the COVID situation as such, it is extremely tough to run the show. And as the Arun Aravind, as the twins actually explained, it is extremely important to be enterprising, socially active, connect, and as they correctly explained, you'll never know whose help you might require when. So the kind of whatever the twins had explained is basically data. So basically, the kind of data, the kind of category of people, everything is important. So since I'm coming from a digital marketing and a data analytic background, I was able to clearly understand the kind of networking and the kind of database that is required to succeed in life, especially for an event manager. So as an entrepreneur, one thing more than the challenges, I thought for upcoming entrepreneurs who are actually listening to this conversation, I thought the most important thing what I've learned to succeed as an entrepreneur is to understand yourself first very clearly. You need to understand what is your strength, what is your weakness, and ensure that you figure out ways to cope up with the limitations and still deliver. That is the most important thing for you to succeed as an entrepreneur. For example, I'll give you a simple example. So I'm not an avid reader. I can see that there's a lot of books being due. So I'm not an avid reader, and I'm a sort of person who doesn't have the patience to actually sit down and go through a complete book. But then it is extremely important for you to read, and so especially with regards to management and management perspective, understanding certain skills and understanding certain techniques is extremely important. So what I figured out is I downloaded an app called Blinkist.
What's
so
the app?
Blinkist is Blinkist, Blinkist.
Blinkist.
So yeah, Blinkist. So what Blinkist does is it compresses an entire management book into a 15-minute audible, and in 15 minutes you'd be able to understand the core teachings or the core principles of that particular book. You'll be able to understand. So by this, I was able. Now currently, I read at least 10 books per day using the Blinkist. Yeah, using the Blinkist app. So the most important thing for an entrepreneur is to understand your strengths and weaknesses and such growth hacks is extremely important for you to ensure that you succeed, because you have to continuously read, you have to continuously keep up with the trends, otherwise you are going to be left behind. So these are the things which I have actually learned as an entrepreneur. You have to have a very clear understanding of you, adapt and evolve. That is the most important thing.
Yeah, adapt and evolve. That's good. So we have the other last speaker, another entrepreneur that we have, Gauri. Yeah. So Gauri, you are the one, I think, who kickstarted the ESL on our campus in your 4th year. Is my recollection correct?
Yes.
You were instrumental. You and Nandakumar. Who was the other boy?
Vignesh from NC.
You and Vignesh kickstarted the ESL on our campus. So at that time itself, did you think that this was the way you wanted to go to become an entrepreneur?
Pretty much, I think, ma'am, like from the time I completed my schooling, I had always, I never thought about working under someone, nor choose a field that everyone, goes for. It was always my passion and my liking, and I was also, I had an advantage that my parents were supportive of my decisions. So I think, like, for example, in my 11th or 12th standard, I made a project on antimatter propulsion. It's basically a propulsion system for spacecrafts. And I think this was conducted by Birla Planetarium that is there in Kodurpuram. So we won the first prize in that particular project exhibition. So this was there for a very long period of time in me, space, aeronautical, and
but you took mechanical.
Yes.
And then for your PG, you went to aerospace, to Bristol.
Yes, that's true, ma'am. So what happened was, it was the time when we had all these examinations, TNPC and everything. So I couldn't crack an aerospace seat. So I couldn't get an aeronautical seat. And I was not in a position to spend a lot of money to, get that kind of education at that point of time. So what I did was I kind of spoke to a lot of people, found out what will be the best base. If I'm still going to do aerospace at any point of time, what will be the best base for it? So I had heard a lot of suggestions from family, friends, and people who were part of the academic field that mechanical will be the best choice for you, because you will be dealing with modules that will be relevant to aerospace as well. Like, for example, propulsion systems. So we did propulsion and mechanical as well. So that is why I took up mechanical engineering, because it was aligned to my goal, right? So I think this was there, maybe inscribed that I wanted to get into aerospace, and I also wanted to start up something on my own. By the time I knew about entrepreneurship, so only after I entered college, I was able to get to know about the concepts of entrepreneurship. And that is when we had this event organized by National Entrepreneurship Network, NEN it was called. I forgot the name of the person who was doing that at that point of time, but we used to communicate with her regularly, myself and Vignesh, and that is when we were able to bring NEN into the campus. So it was only through NEN that we were able to actually start up ECEL, the entrepreneurship cell. And then I think the entrepreneurship cell took wings and it became ICEL as well. And then slowly it started, becoming so many other things.
IEDC, and then now we have the TBI on campus. Yeah.
Yes.
So something that you laid the seed, Gauri. You can be proud of that.
Right. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
So when you went to Bristol, so you suppose we are planning, one of your students were listening, they want to go abroad to study.
Yes.
Is there anything that you would like to pass them before you get on to the entrepreneur angle?
Yeah, sure.
How did you find the experience?
Yeah. So I think there are two ways of explaining this, because now it's a COVID period. So here now there is an era, there's a new normal now. So people are learning more and more online. So all the education system, everything is going to modify. It's going to evolve in such a way that it's all going to become online. So I don't see a lot of importance during this time to go abroad to get any kind of education. The education that you need is available around you. So Google has 50% of all the knowledge that you really want to grasp in this world. The only thing is, when you are going into a university or when you're going into a school, they give you decorum. They give you a discipline, like the way you should interact with people, and also the knowledge comes in a more streamlined way, right? That is the entire need for education system. But otherwise, what I feel as of now, due to the situation, due to the occurrences at the time being, I think knowledge is available everywhere. So that is one thing. Now, there are people who want to kind of get into some specific fields. Like, for example, take space as such, because I'm related to that, I'm just talking about that. There are some countries which are doing much better in that particular vertical compared to Asia as such. Developed nations have more exposure to the industry of space or other aeronautical applications as such. So if there are students who are really motivated to pursue this kind of a field that is very, very, only a few people choose to do that, it's very challenging as well. So because if you take mechanical engineering, it's a very, very wide field. You have a lot of scope. But when you go into something very specific, you have to face a lot of challenges, even to find employment despite your passion, right? That is also there. So for students who are planning to go abroad, one thing is, if they're going abroad for the first time, they'll definitely have to overcome personal hurdles. They're going to leave their family for quite some period of time. They're going to leave their friends, and they're going to meet new people. They're going to face an entirely new environment. So this is what they have to get accustomed to. They have to accept the situation even before stepping foot abroad. So they need to know that these are the situations that are going to happen. They're going to live on their own. and they will have to cook on their own, they have to walk on their own, live on their own, travel on their own, study on their own, everything on their own, right? So the responsibilities multiply. So if you look at the kind of education that I received in KCG and the kind of education that was in Bristol, I would say those are entirely two different types of systems, or two different type of approaches to education. Like if you look at our education, a lot of things I would say is spoon-fed. I wouldn't say that is something.
We give a lot of notes, we give a lot of inputs.
Yeah. Yes. So we give a lot of information and knowledge, make sure that the students have to learn them and all of that. But when you take the education system abroad, mostly what happens is you are free to do what you want, right? So if you want to learn, you learn. If you want to attend the class, you attend the class, or else you're going to lose. End of the day, you'll have to attend the exams and all the project work and anything. Like, for example, something that was very difficult for me to understand was the plagiarism check, right? So when you go there, when you try to do all the projects and reports, they have to go through a software that checks your articles for plagiarism. So you can't do copy paste. You can't do copy paste into any project at whatever level it may be. So if it is going to have like 5 or 10% plagiarism without having a cross reference, then the reports are all ruled out. But I remember a time, during BE, so many students, they try to do projects that are already existing, and also students try to buy the projects. So what I would say is, to students who are pursuing education now, it's better that even if they're going to work on a very small idea, do it on their own, right? Put in their own effort, write it in their own words. It doesn't matter how much they score of it, but as long as the knowledge comes out of them, it's going to definitely benefit them.
I think we do focus on a lot on that. We have introduced a mini project, which is now mandatory. I think I've spoken to you about it. It's now mandatory for all third years, though it's not in their curriculum. So precisely because of that, we want them to work on their own without going to some project center for their project. So you have entered as entrepreneur. You've entered a very difficult area. I would have thought, aerospace, although anything to do with aeronautics, I thought would be a difficult area for an entrepreneur to break into. Would you agree, or would you? Yeah. So what kind of challenges did you face, or are you still facing?
Yeah. So I would say it's something that will come only out of pure passion. So if you want to get into a very narrow field at the moment, something non-IT. I mean, aerospace does have IT. Even our startup has a lot of IT involved in it. But I'm talking about mainstream IT. So when you're moving away from mainstream IT, that too for Indian education system, trying to move away from IT and look into other fields, they're all going to be difficult fields. So I did face a lot of challenges, like starting from getting the first investment, trying to start a business, trying to get the team, trying to have people with the same wavelength and same kind of content within themselves. These are all hurdles that we have to pass through. And still we are undergoing a lot more hurdles, because aviation is not a very easy field to crack into. There's a lot of regulations surrounding it. It's not like any other startup wherein you can just start up and then sell the product immediately, start operating the product immediately. So there needs to be a lot of things when it comes to regulation. So you'll have to make sure that you comply to the regulations belonging to that particular country. So every country has its own regulations when it comes to aviation. So I would say the first hurdle for anyone to get into this field is proper documentation of their plan. They need to identify a real problem statement. They have to identify a real problem statement to get into this field, whether it be aerospace, aeronautical, or space technology as such. And the second thing is finding the right kind of investors and stakeholders into the business, and also your co-founders and the team, right? So these are the initial hurdles that I also faced. But I think the other, the co-founders with me, my team, they all had the same wavelength and same passion. So they wanted to kind of get into this, so we know that there is a space, there's going to be a vacuum. The only thing is we need to figure out how to crack into it. So you wouldn't believe that 2 years before now, I had been working on a disaster management drone prototype, but we didn't get a lot of support for it. But if that drone had been present now during this present situation, it would have helped a lot of households. It would have helped a lot of governments and police officers, and it would have helped patients as well for disinfection and all of that.
So, I just wanted to ask, when you developed this prototype, what you just now said, for disaster management drones, Who did you seek support from? Angel investors? Who did
We
you
spoke to a lot of angel investors. There were some VCs that whom we know. We spoke to them. We spoke to incubation facilities. All of them were concerned about the safety, and also they wanted a minimum viable product. They wanted to have the prototype in hand to go ahead with further investment. But for us to develop the prototype with all the kind of technology that we wanted, it required investment. So more like a vicious circle. You need the investment to make the main prototype for MVP, and then you go on for further investment. But then we needed the investment in order to even go ahead with the prototype, because we are talking about artificial intelligence, we are talking about virtual reality, and we are talking about drones. We're trying to link something, all the three together. So yeah, so that's basically how we tried approaching now.
So if you tried now at this time, do you think there'll be some more interest in what you're trying to develop, or it's too late?
Definitely there would be, but I think since there are competitors who already understood that there is this kind of a need for drones, and they would have already started working on it. There are drone companies who have been established for a very long period of time. So they've all got into disaster management now. So I think it will not be really great for us to go on with that model in mind. But the only advantage we had is we had so many ideas in mind. So we had so many prototype designs. So this is not just one that we had. So we have at least 5 or 6 that we could deploy at any moment. Only thing is, once the regulations allow us to do that, I think we'll be able to go ahead. So we are not going to go with the same kind of prototype, but we are going to make some few changes. Like for example, just to give you an idea what these changes can be, like the current problem with drones is the flight time. So they can be on air for maybe 1 hour, or maximum 1.5 hours or 2 hours. So if it's going to travel for longer distances, and if it's going to carry a heavy load, they need to be propelled by something else. So we are actually working on that now.
Okay. So what tip will you give if somebody wants to become an entrepreneur?
The tip is this: very simple, very straightforward. Identify the problem statement. The problem statement has to be very compelling. The problem statement has to be very straightforward, and you need to have conviction in the problem statement. If you find the right solution for the problem statement, and if you're the only one in the market, especially, then you should go ahead with that. So that will be my tip.
So suppose there's already somebody in the market, then you would advise them not to go into it?
Not really. So what happens is, now if you take all the products, there are competitors, right? So the only thing is, what kind of technology are you going to offer, or something that is different from the current market? Right. So if you have too many competitors, that you will not be able to initially get into the market, squeeze into the market, then I think it is better to look into a different product. But when you're looking only at a few competitors for that particular market, you have a very good audience, but you have only 20% or 30% delivery to that audience, and 70% is available for you to kind of access. So I would say that you have to carefully evaluate your competitors. It is not that you should leave your product once you have a competitor. It only matters as to what stands out in your product compared to your competitor. So your competitor study is very important. A problem statement, and after that you go to the competitor study, and then you do a market research, and then you form your pitching document, and from that you can take it forward.
So a lot of hard work to be put in before you take the plunge.
Definitely. Yeah. If you put all the hard work in at the beginning, then it gets easier after that. But then if you're going to step your feet into something, and then discover all these, it's going to be even more difficult. So I would say just do all the groundwork, take 1 or 2 years to do it, and then enter the market. So that will be the best strategy.
So there are some questions which the listeners are asking. Gayathri, the first question is to you, Gayathri. They are asking, is there an age limit for these tests or these companies?
Ma'am, only for the competitive exams that is conducted by UPSC and TNPC SSC, we have some age limit. And as like departmental exam, it is conducted by UPS and all, there is no age limit. For example, I took one vacancy notification in January month, they posted. It is for the production engineering, BEC and B production, B mechanical. The age is 40, minimum age is 40 and maximum age is 45. So we have lot of opportunities like this in the UPSC, so you can view in that.
So where you said there is an age, because these are all youngsters asking, I assume, what is the age limit for the other exams where there is an age limit?
Yeah, it is from this month, 21 to 30 for OC, 32 for OBC and 35 for SC/ST examinations.
Okay. So from 30 onwards, it kind of ranges, 30 to 35.
Yeah.
You have to be younger than that, generally speaking.
Yeah, yes, for all the exams.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
The other question is from Karthik we have a fashion technology department. For those of you who do not know, we have recently started a fashion technology department. And the question is to Arun and Aravind. They want to know what is the requirements or skills a costume designer should have to work in a cine industry. Is there any job opportunities with you also, I suppose?
Yeah, we supply models for those costume designers, ma'am. So அந்த மாதிரி இருக்கிறவங்களுக்கு மெயினா டிசைனர்ஸோட கான்டாக்ட் கண்டிப்பா இருக்கணும். அவங்களுக்கு நிறைய காஸ்டியூம் டிசைனர்ஸோட சீனியர் டிசைனர்ஸோட பேசி இருக்கணும், இன்டராக்ட் பண்ணணும். ஏன்னா இங்க என்னன்னா அந்த ஃபீல்ட் பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் எக்கச்சக்கமா வந்து பீப்புள் இருக்காங்க. பட் ப்ராப்பர் டிசைனர்ஸ், இப்ப நாங்க ஒரு ரியாலிட்டி ஷோக்கு காஸ்டியூம் டிசைனர்ஸ் வந்து நாங்க தேடுறோம். பட் கடைசியில நாங்க யாரை எடுக்கிறோம்னா காலேஜ் ஃப்ரெஷர்ஸ் தான் எடுக்கிறோம். ஏன்னா வைடான பீப்புள் வந்து அந்த ஃபீல்ட்ல வெளியில வரல. ஸோ இந்த மாதிரி இருக்கிறவங்களுக்கு அந்த மாதிரி இருக்கிற டிசைனர்ஸ் கிட்ட போயிட்டு இவங்க ஒரு 1 year எக்ஸ்போஷர் வந்துருச்சு அப்படின்னு சொன்னா இவங்க பெரிய பெரிய ஷோஸ்க்கு கூட ஒர்க் அவுட் பண்ணலாம். பட் அதான் அதுக்கு அந்த எக்ஸ்போஷர் அவங்க வளர்த்துக்கிறது அவங்க கையில தான் இருக்கு. ஜஸ்ட் ஒரு டிசைனரா எடுத்தோடனே இண்டிவிஜுவலா போகணும்னு நினைக்காம ஒரு பெரிய டிசைனர் கிட்ட ஒரு 1 year to 2 years இருந்தாங்கன்னு சொன்னா இன்னும் அந்த ஃபீல்ட்ல வந்து ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டிஸ் வந்து கொஞ்சம் ஈஸியாவே கேதர் பண்ணிக்க முடியும். அதுதான் மேம், அவங்களுக்கு அதுதான்.
So if they have opportunity, just want to clarify. Suppose they have worked in a company, a design company, now they want to move into costume designing for the film industry or for your television shows. And how do they move from there to here?
Each and every celebrity க்கு ஒரு இண்டிவிஜுவல் டிசைனர் இருக்காங்க. சோ இப்போ எங்க விஜய் டிவிலே பாத்தீங்கன்னா நியர்லி 30 செலிபிரிட்டிஸ்க்கு இண்டிவிஜுவல் 30 டிசைனர்ஸ் அவங்க ஓனா வச்சிருக்காங்க. சோ இந்த மாதிரி இருக்கிறவங்களோட டேலண்ட் நல்லா இருக்குன்னு சொன்னா இப்ப நாங்களே கூட சஜஸ்ட் பண்ணலாம். சோ இப்போ ஒரு ஆங்கர்ஸ்க்கு வந்து இவங்களோட டிசைன்ஸ் காட்டி ஒரு 5 ஷோல ஏதோ ஒரு ஷோல ஒரு செலிபிரிட்டிக்கு எடுத்து கொடுத்தாலும் அது அவங்களுக்கு ஒரு பெரிய ப்ரொஃபைலா தான் இருக்கும். சோ இந்த மாதிரி இருக்கிறவங்க கண்டிப்பா எதா இருந்தாலும் அப்ரோச் பண்ணா எங்க சைட்ல இருந்து நிச்சயமா எங்களால சப்போர்ட் பண்ண முடியும்.
The next question is to Gowrishankar. Gowri is, I think Gladwin wants to know, he is one of our faculty. I don't know whether he's taught you, Gowri Gladwin. I don't know whether you've taught him, but he wants to know, how do you see the recent privatization of defense and space research in India?
So I think I can answer that in one of the aspects of that. For example, now it's possible for private companies to have access to ISRO or any of their facilities. That was a recent announcement wherein private companies could actually make use of the governmental resources. So I think this is definitely a boon. It is going to be something that is very beneficial for the industry and for the government as well, because when it comes to ideas, or when it comes to any kind of new technology, there is a lot of technology available with private firms as well. So if a government is going to allow this, and if it is going to allow private entities and entrepreneurs and small or big MSME companies to come into the sector, it's definitely going to benefit them mutually. So the companies also get an exposure into this field, and in turn the government also benefits because they have access to more resource pool. So that is one thing, and also being allowed to use the facilities. Like for example, so if I'm developing a propulsion system, a space propulsion system, I can maybe in the future I'll be able to access the research lab facilities available at ISRO, so which might not have been available to me prior to this. And such kind of laboratory facilities are very expensive to access. So now if the government is going to do that, it is going to be very beneficial, at least for the testing of any of these prototypes. So that is how I see it. Two different things: government benefiting from the resource pool, and the other thing is the private companies benefiting from the facilities, the government facilities.
I see. To Prem and to Gauri, how do you see, how has this COVID impacted the entrepreneur opportunities? Do you feel it has become much more difficult for them, or do you see still a lot of new opportunities coming up?
Yeah,
yes,
Prem,
ma'am, I'll take that. So yes, ma'am. So the COVID situation has certainly made everyone's life difficult, and there are a very few firms or a few category of businesses who they don't actually require the physical presence, or the kind of physical traveling, etc. is not required. So those startups and those companies have actually have been faring really well. So one good thing about this particular situation is that cold clients who we approached earlier for digital marketing, and they were very confident that with their contacts and with their traditional way of doing businesses will actually work. And we were actually turned down by them. Those guys have actually come back to us saying that digital is the only way forward, and they've started selling through several other digital mediums. So I'm sure that we are almost, I would say even, I'd say once the situation becomes better, business is going to boom for several industries as well. So because even for, though travel industry has taken a huge hit now, we are very confident that there's going to be a huge boom in the next month or so. So what I would do as an entrepreneur is be ready for that boom, ensure that the processes are in place, and have a clear marketing roadmap as to what exactly we are going to do to take advantage of the situation once the situation becomes normal or becomes close to normal, so that whenever it happens, we need to go all out and attack the targeted audience and whatever you have or your objective is.
So just before this panel discussion, Gauri, you and Prem, you were talking about drones and how there are more opportunities for people to make drones.
So just to extend on those points, so COVID situation has affected a few businesses favorably and a lot of businesses unfavorably. So I would say, like, for example, telecom, digital marketing, online education, they have all been benefited. But if you look at any one of them apart from these fields, they definitely face something negative. So one of those fields that would have been favorably benefited, I would say, is drones. Because if you see, this is a situation where you will have to bring in measures wherein you will not be able to be physically present. Human beings will not be able to physically present. So this is the task of robots and drones to do the work, right? So I think so many countries have used drones for disinfection. They have used drones for public announcement during this situation, particularly. And I think I'm not sure how many of them are listening to this would know about it, but so many countries have implemented drone regulations during the COVID period so as to facilitate the operation of drones. Because the drones are being operated, and if you don't have the regulation to do that, then it means that it is an illegal operation. So in order to legalize the operation, the government has actually come up with regulations that would facilitate drones, especially the ones that are being used for agriculture, disinfection, and so on. So I think some fields have benefited out of it, but some others, they will have to wait for it. And one more point I would like to add is I recently got a certification from World Health Organization on facilities design. So facilities design is a very interesting concept. I just happened to go through the WHO website and I came to know that there are certifications available. People can actually learn online about the entire COVID and also how to come up with design of facilities. Like, for example, if it's an educational institution or a hospital, it has to be built in a particular way. The ventilation has to be done in a particular way so that the ill effects of such kind of diseases can be avoided in the future. Right, so I feel that this is a time when most of the countries around the world and industries, they can make sure that their industries are designed in such a way, that their facilities are designed in such a way that they can counter, especially when it comes to ventilation. So what I feel is we have to make use of this time to make it more profitable, make use of this time to rethink all the actions that we have been doing in the past and where we had gone wrong, so that in the future, if the same situation happens, we are in more control. So many universities are doing research on how to come up with alternate transport systems wherein people don't get to be in close proximity, but they are still able to travel. So these are all things that students who are listening or anyone who wants to think about in the future, they can come up with a project for it. The second thing is only 8% of the population in India, the student population in India, have access to a laptop and computer and internet. So which means that if you're trying to go mainstream education online, then the students need to have access to computer and internet, first of all, for us to implement online education. So students can come up with some kind of idea wherein people, everyone has access to this kind of online education. Can we use the TV monitors? Can we use any other kind of display system, attach a small module to it so that it can be used as a laptop? It can be used as a video device. So these are things, these are the problem statements now. So we can come up with some inventions for this. So I think that will be my input. As far as the situation is concerned, whether it's negative or positive, we'll have to make it positive. We'll have to make sure we'll have to study it and try to come up with something positive about it. So yes.
Thanks, Gauri. Arun Aravind, the next question is to you. One of our students wants to know, did people discourage you when you wanted to go into this field? Did they say, you studied mechanical engineering, then why are you getting into this field? Were there people who discouraged you? How did you face those people?
கண்டிப்பா ஏன் இதை பண்ற, எதுக்காக இதை பண்ற, இப்படி போனா ஜெயிச்சிருவியான்னு சொல்லிட்டு thousands of people இருக்காங்க மேம், ஏன் பண்றேன்னு. பட் only 2-3 people will be there, like இதை பண்ணு ஜெயிக்கலாம்னு சொல்றதுக்கு 2-3 பேர் தான் இருக்காங்க. ஸோ நாங்க அந்த 2-3 பேரை மட்டும் தான் நாங்க கான்சன்ட்ரேட் பண்ணோம். ஸோ அதனாலதான் இந்த இடத்துக்கு வந்தது. நிறைய பேர் ஈவன் இன்னைக்கு காலேஜ் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ்க்கே நிறைய பேருக்கு மீடியாக்குள்ள வரணுங்கிற பேஷன் இருக்கும். பட் ஒரு சின்ன பயம், எல்லாருமே கேட்பாங்களே, ஒரு அட்ராக்ஷனுக்காக போறியா, இல்ல மீடியாங்கிறது மோசமான இடம்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. நிறைய டிஸ்கரேஜ். ஆக்சுவலி ஒரு ஸ்டேஜ்ல ஏறி நின்று அவார்டு வாங்குற வரைக்கும் கேள்விகள் கேட்டுட்டு தான் இருந்தாங்க. பட் அவார்டு வாங்கினதுக்கு அப்புறம் கேட்ட எல்லாருமே கைத்தட்ட ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டாங்க. ஸோ ப்ரூவ் பண்றதுக்கு கண்டிப்பா ஜெயிச்சு ஆகணும். அது வரைக்கும் மத்தவங்களை லிசன் பண்ணாம நம்ம பேஷன் நோக்கி டெடிகேட்டடா இருந்தா கண்டிப்பா எந்த ஒரு ஃபீல்ட்லயுமே ஜெயிக்கலாம். ஜஸ்ட் லைக் உள்ள போயிட்டு 2-3 டேஸ்ல என்னடா ஒண்ணுமே கிடைக்கலையேன்னு ரிட்டர்ன் வந்தா அது ஃபெயிலியர் தான். கிடைக்கிற வரைக்கும் ஓடணும். ஸோ இந்த ஃபீல்டு இல்லை, எந்த ஃபீல்டுமே போயிட்டு ஒரு வேலை வாங்குற வரைக்கும் இன்ஜினியராகவே இருந்தாலும் என்னடா படிச்சு என்னத்தை கிழிச்சுன்னு தான் கேட்பாங்க. ஸோ இங்க ப்ரூவ் பண்றதுக்கு எல்லா மீடியமும் சேம் தான். டிஸ்கரேஜ் பண்ணாங்க, நிறைய பண்ணாங்க. இப்ப நாங்க 2 பேர் இருக்கிறதுனால எங்க வீட்லயே ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஒருத்தனை இன்ஜினியர் ஆகணும், இன்னொருத்தர டாக்டர் ஆகணும் ரேஞ்சுக்கு யோசிச்சாங்க. நாங்க 2 பேருமே மீடியா அப்படின்னா ரொம்ப நெகட்டிவா தான் பயந்தாங்க. பட் அந்த டைம் எடுத்துச்சு, ஒரு 1 year ஆச்சு ப்ரூவ் பண்ணது. ஏன்னா இன்ஜினியரிங் முடிச்சுட்டு வாங்குற சேலரிய மீடியாலையும் வாங்க முடியும்னு ஒன்ஸ் ஒரு மாச சம்பளத்தை கொடுத்தோன்னே எல்லாருமே ஓகே பசங்க நின்னுட்டாங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு விட்டுட்டாங்க. ஸோ டிஸ்கரேஜ்மெண்ட் எல்லாத்தையும் இருக்கும், அதை ஃபேஸ் பண்ணி தான் ஆகணும்.
தேங்க்யூ அருண் அரவிந்த். To Gayathri, the question is, what kind of preparation is needed, technical and general? How do they to prepare for all these exams and get successful?
Ma'am, it is simple step. Just read the school book from 6th standard to 12th standard. That is the syllabus, basic syllabus. Nothing other than that for all the competitive exams. It may be TNPSC or it may be UPSC. You should follow one set of syllabus. Either it's at NCERT or it is Samachir Kalvi. See, because October 2nd is Gandhi Jayanti, is both in NCERT is also the same and Samachir Kalvi is also the same. So either you should go for any one set of syllabus. You study from 6th standard to 12th standard. That is the base. No need to go for any coaching center. No need to go for any guide and books and all. The base is 6th standard to 12th standard book. Just fully thorough concentrate on it and you can easily crack even IAS exam. That is easy. The most of the winners are saying that they follow only the NCERT book, 6th standard to 12th standard. Other than that, they didn't read anything.
Very interesting. Okay, thanks Gayathri. Prem, this question is to you. What is the time it will take for the real estate sector to bounce back?
That is a really good question, ma'am. So to be honest, we've been actually for promoting ads for several real estate companies in Chennai and Bangalore, even during this COVID situation. So it is a good time for, since the bidding etc. is extremely low now, because of the kind of competition is extremely less now for Google ads and other things. So I would say this is the best time for the real estate sector to promote and ensure that they actually showcase their products. And there are several other new products, as Gauri was explaining. There are other new real estate products which has come up where they are able to view the entire interiors of the apartment in a 3D rendered model using VR. So it gives a very good experience of actually looking at your apartment, etc. So the industry is also trying to adapt and come up with interesting solutions as such. So if you directly ask me for a one-word answer, I feel it is going to take at least the end of this year for it to completely bounce back, because already real estate was on an extreme low. For the last 2 to 3 years, real estate has been hardly, especially in Chennai, it has been extremely rock bottom. So this has obviously taken.
I think a lot of big builders had also gone broke. I think they're
exactly bankrupt. Exactly.
But you feel by end of this year they can recoup?
I feel so. One good thing I would like to say is Hyderabad and Telangana, Andhra they were in a similar situation 2 to 3 years back. But now they took a conscious decision to reduce prices. So what I would say, current situation in Chennai, the kind of there's a lot of bloat in the prices currently in the Chennai market, and it is being added by these builders. To be honest, there is a scope for there's a lot of scope for reduction to correct the market. The correction happened in Hyderabad and Andhra, and once the correction happened, the sales were extremely good. Currently, the real estate market in Hyderabad for the last 2 years, it is better than any other city in India, to be honest. That's because the correction happened in the industry and builders took a conscious decision to reduce 20 to 30%. So now here in Chennai, builders, they would rather not correct and hold stock and keep raising more capital or debt against that particular stock rather than reducing the price and selling, and rather than to reduce the price and sell. So that's the current trend. But then there are a couple of builders, 2 or 3 builders have already realized the fact that this particular correction worked out in Hyderabad, and they've actually started reducing the price now. So I actually bought an apartment in Siriseri like 8 years back, and unfortunately, like you pointed out, that particular builder went kaput. So and the kind of price I bought it 10 years back, the cost now has depreciated. So the builders are also taking note of whatever happened in Hyderabad, and 2-3 major players are reducing. If other builders can follow suit, I guess I'm sure that the market will pick up very soon, because there's currently a lot of inventory available with no cash flow or transaction happening. That's the problem currently.
What about the entertainment industry? Arun Aravind, what is the impact on the entertainment industry of this COVID?
ஒரு ரொம்ப பெரிய இம்பாக்ட் தான் மேம். என்னன்னா இப்போ ரெஸ்ட்ரிக்ஷன்ஸ் என்னன்னா எங்களுக்கு 100 people இருந்த இடத்துல 20 people தான் இருக்கணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்றாங்க. ஸோ ஒர்க் பண்ணும்போது ஸோ அந்த ஆன்ஸ்கிரீன் ஆர்டிஸ்ட் எல்லாமே வந்து மாஸ்க் அண்ட் எவ்ரி திங் எல்லா டைமும் போட்டுட்டு ஷூட் பண்ண முடியாது. ஸோ அதனாலதான் இப்போ மண்டேல இருந்து ஓரளவுக்கு பெர்மிஷன் இருந்துமே இன்னும் ஒரு நெக்ஸ்ட் ஒரு 15 days வந்து எங்க சைட்ல இருந்து கேட்டிருக்காங்க என்ன மாதிரி பிளான் பண்ணலான்னு. ஸோ இம்பாக்ட் பயங்கரமா இருக்கு. அது மேபி டிசம்பர் எண்ட் வரைக்கும் ஒரு சொல்யூஷன் கிடைக்காது. ஏன்னா ஒரு ஷூட்டிங் ஸ்பாட்ல மினிமம் 150 people இருந்தாதான் ஒரு ஷோ பண்ண முடியும். அது 30-40 people எப்படி அகாமடேட் பண்ண போறாங்கன்னு தெரியல. ஸோ இன்னும் பிளான் தான் மேம் இருக்கு. இது வரைக்கும் எக்ஸாக்ட் சொல்யூஷன் வந்து எங்கேயுமே வரல. இன்னும் எந்த ஷூட்டுமே ஸ்டார்ட் ஆகல. நெக்ஸ்ட் ஒரு 1 month ஆகாதுன்னு தான் சொல்லிட்டு இருக்காங்க. இதோட சேஞ்சஸ் எப்படி இருக்குன்னா, இதுக்கான சொல்யூஷன் வந்ததுக்கு அப்புறம் இப்படி போயிடலாம்னு சொல்லிட்டு எக்கனாமிக்கலா நிறைய விஷயங்கள் மாறும். ஸோ இதுல ஒரே ஒரு இம்பாக்ட் என்னன்னா, எல்லாரோட இன்கம் வந்து கொஞ்சம் குறையறதுக்கு நிறைய சேஞ்சஸ் இருக்கு. ஏன்னா அங்க அந்த எஃபெக்ட் ஆகுறது வந்து எங்க மேலதான் அது இம்பாக்ட் கொடுக்கும். சோ அதுக்கான ப்ராப்பர் சொல்யூஷன் அதை ஃபேஸ் பண்ற அளவுக்கு தான் மேம் இப்போதைக்கு இருக்கு. எந்த ஒரு பாசிட்டிவான நோட் எதுலயுமே இல்ல இங்க.
So till December end you don't see much light.
கண்டிப்பா மேம்.
Gayathri, you are in charge. You said you are part of the Ministry of Labor and Employment, right?
Yeah, sure,
okay.
ma'am.
So then it's your ministry's responsibility, I think, because unemployment is now everybody is saying it's going to be very high.
Yes.
So is there any special schemes that you have all planning or you have planned or going to plan? How are you going to face the situation?
Yeah, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. According to the FM, ma'am. So Finance Minister, ma'am, we got the draft for the 20,000 lakhs. According to that, so first thing is for the migrant labor, we have planned one thing. It is all in the draft stage. So we are planning to set up low-cost industries there in their respective states itself. That is our first thing. So that may be the thing. And second thing is we are.
One second, I just want to clarify this. Low-cost industries in the villages in different states.
Yeah, ma'am. It is for we are planning. Okay, that is we are giving hands to them in in the type of loan for the MSME sector, the new startup, so that they can start their own life in their respective states. That is our first idea. Now, the second idea is really we are speaking with all the employers. So they have to cut rate. They are planning for the cut rate of employment rate and their salaries and all. So we are speaking with that also. In that part, we are giving the sanction amount through the stipend for all the MSMEs and all the startup companies. And the main thing is for the entrepreneurs move for there. So we are giving hands to them in order to through financially and through technical support also. So you can contact our ministries, Ministry of Labor or Ministry of Skill Development for further enhancement of their projects. That's the thing. And main thing we are planning that becoming all the things. So first part is online job fair we are conducting. So throughout India from April starting itself we started online job fair. So like that. And then as for online exam, we are practicing for them. Okay, with TCS throughout India, we are going in for online employability skill for the youths. That is also going on. And with that MHRD, with AICT and UGC, we are planning for the final year employability skills for the final year students. That is also going on. To all this scope of that, the main thing is, in order to focus that, there is a lot of opportunity in India. So that's the thing. And now yesterday we received from the banking industries, that is from finance sector, we received 143 vacancies throughout India that will be published in the August or September by the IBBS. So don't worry, there will be a lot of opportunity in government sectors. And in then August and September month, there will be a publishing of IOC, ONGC and all. There will be a publishing. For that, GATE is compulsory for engineers. So we have a lot of opportunities in government sectors. That is too mainly for engineers. You are welcome. And the thing is, you should prepare constantly for the competitive exams. And for that, in Tamil Nadu, we have a special coaching class by the respective districts. It is handled by the retired staffs. That is for police, for the defense and all. Retired police staff is handling for theory section and physical section. And for others like UPSC, SSC, it is that retired staffs is handling the session. So now it is now now it is going on online. So so we have some district is going on Cisco, and some district is going on Zoom app, and some district is going on free conference call. So all the coaching centers where it is respective from the district department, it is at free of cost. You can learn that and you can easily achieve the competitive exams. So this is all those steps we are taking, and we have more steps that is in draft stage that cannot be said now. That's the thing.
Okay. Anyway, I'm glad that so much plans have been put in, and I'm glad all this coaching is happening, and hopefully lots of people will be able to take advantage of that. Thanks, Gayathri. There is one more question for Gowrishankar. Gauri, they want to know, how long will it take for India to manufacture their own aircrafts and fighter jets? Now we are buying from Russia, France, and US. Why can't we make our own spacecrafts in ISRO? And I don't know, do you know so much, Gauri, when we'll be able to do it?
I can answer just as, again, a small aspect of it, because we are also looking into all those avenues in the future. So with the recent privatization initiative, I think there will be more players in the Indian market who are going to manufacture, but these are not very high-scale aircrafts, but we are looking at UAVs and drones. And there are two answers to this question. So this will happen very soon, or it is going to take a very long time. So there are only two possibilities. Very soon, why I'm saying is that some governments are planning to not use aircrafts made in China. So if they're not going to make the products in China, where else can it be made? Which country has a good potential of laborers and as well as materials at low cost? So you can do the calculation. So you know where it can land next. So if that is going to be the situation, then India is in a very bright side. But then if we don't do it now, if that doesn't happen, then it's going to still take some more time. We have to keep, waiting and wishing for that to happen.
So you think the privatization might help in that sector for our companies to step in?
Yes, it will definitely help. And if they're going to stop, and if some countries are not going to buy from China, it's going to help us as well.
All right. So I think we can now wind up this discussion.
Anita ma'am, I have two questions actually.
Okay.
And first is to Prem.
Yeah.
Prem, we would like to hear from you. How is it working for KCG now?
After being a student. Okay.
Yeah, ma'am, it is. Yeah. So to be honest, my time in KCG was probably the best time I've had in my life. And I am glad that I'm able to give something back to the college. And also, as I was explaining, even during my initial pitch, when I actually pitched you and for you and Annie ma'am, I was very excited about the prospect of showcasing KCG the way in which I envision it. So there's a lot of coolness attached to our college, which I'm sure that in the coming days I'll be able to showcase it with my team. I'll be able to showcase it in a very good way, I guess.
Brilliant. I remember when Devsundari told me first that, they are doing the social media. Prem, I was like, Prem, You see, 2008, CSC is my student. And she was like, let me check. So what was your second question?
And this question is to Gayathri. I would like to put it to Gayathri, though it is common for all. What role did KCG play, in helping you to where you are today, or whom you are today, and or can you just tell us what we have to do? It is actually Gauri and Arun and Aravind, we have been in constant touch. They have been giving inputs to us quite a lot. So I would like to put this to both Prem and Gayathri.
Ma'am, actually I speak when it is for KCG. We have only one set of view in that period from 2005 to 2009. It is only industry sites. So all IBM, Virtusa, they will be posting so many programs. So we thought that the only side is that in the world. So we don't know about the government sector and all at that time. So it is IBM, Virtusa. We have so many companies, we have so many seminars. It is only to technology side. I don't know about the government sector. Even after my ME also, I don't know. After in my teaching profession only, I came to know about the judgment of the cases, and after that only I know about the government sector is also working in India. So we need to step into that. So like that only I came into that. So
you were, Gayathri, you were telling me you were working on some project, and that's how you got into. What project were you doing for the Supreme Court? What was it that you were telling me?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. It is on 2015 Supreme Court GO. Okay. They started that it should be publicized the government sector opportunity. So that is our digital media. So that is digital media. So that is only www.ncs.gov.in. So now I am requesting to the KCG's technical team, to all our staff there. Please keep at least 1 or 2 seminars with respect to government sector also. So all are keen about to enter that thing.
I think even our advisor Sambandam sir was saying the same thing. No, there, Sundari, that our students do not know the opportunities in the government sector.
Actually, Gayathri, to answer you, for the past 5 years, we have initiated many clubs in our campus, and Civil Services Club is also there. So, now we bring in many government people from government sector to address our students. Might be in year 2009, we were not able to do, but now we are doing it. Thank you.
Yeah, happy to hear that, ma'am.
Anyway, so now that you have come for this panel discussion, now I think our students would have some more input on what are the various schemes and how they can go around getting ready for the government sector. And government sector always means safety and security, right?
Yes, of course.
And for people who don't want safety and security, there's Arun and Aravind with the entertainment industry. Or you can become an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Safety and security is important, there it is. But one of our speakers, I think it was Car Technology CEO, Prem and Gauri, he was telling, at least work for 6 to 10 years in an industry before you become an entrepreneur. Did you work how long did you work in Micromen before you started your own company, Prem?
I'm still a part of Micromen, ma'am. I'm very much a part of Micromen.
Okay.
So
how long did you work before you started your first company? When you took that step?
I think I guess it's 6. I guess it was 5 to 6 years. Yeah.
So roughly around 6 years working in an industry.
Years.
Okay. So
yeah.
So I think we can tell that to our budding entrepreneurs: work 6 years or to 10 years in the industry of your choice.
Yeah,
and
but you never know, ma'am. You never know when you get that spark or when you get that idea. So
because Gauri didn't do that, like Gauri, you did not work for 6 years before taking the step.
It's all the spark, as Prem told. It depends when you're going to get the spark. But I personally feel and recommend that it's better to work in an industry, especially to develop your people skills and then move into entrepreneurship, because you'll have to manage people primarily.
Correct. Actually, one more thing I'd like to add is, so when I was actually while Gauri was actually explaining about the risk hazards and stuff. So I just started Googling as to if there are any solutions that are readily available in the market, which would help with regards to the drone crashing aspect, which is actually addressing the drone crashing aspect. So there seems to be no product or technology available which would safely cushion the drone and ensure that the crash doesn't happen. So I feel there is a gap, or there is a solution which can be done. So I was parallelly I was just Googling. So there is no sort of a chute which will open, or there is no sort of a thing which would cushion the impact. There is no solution for that. So Gauri, I guess you can think about that.
Yeah, so basically, I think as far as the industries are concerned, which have already started deploying the drones, they have 2 or 3 mechanisms to overcome this kind of failure due to crash or something. There are institutes who are researching on the mechanisms to avoid this. There's no standard industry who is trying to provide solution. Even SpaceX is working on safety and other things. So one thing is parachute. So the parachute deploys as soon as the drone fails. And the other thing is they have a kind of a wireframe. A body around the drone, like a ball, so that the drone basically flies within the ball. So if it's going to fall, so basically the entire ball drops. So the ball is not going to harm you. The drone is inside it. The blades are inside it. So there are other technologies that are available, but no one has actually gone to the
market. There seems to be no product or
yes, that's true.
Correct.
So one of our students want to know, Deepak Hariharan, whether you're okay with the students contacting you, and if you're okay, could you give your contact line or whatever, link, so that if you can say that, then they would like to contact you. So if you have a link to share, please, would you share?
Yeah, ma'am, you can take it, ma'am. So you can give my number. So they can WhatsApp. I have only one number with this official number. So they can contact me.
Or is there any kind of, email, or rather than giving your number, maybe I'll give your email, or is there some kind of ID that
So let me post in chat box, ma'am.
Okay.
Sure, ma'am. I'll be more than glad to share my email ID. And if there are any budding entrepreneurs or any good tech related ideas which they'd like to, which they want, my advice or my mentorship, I'll be more than happy to mentor them for their startup or their whatever their $1 million ideas. They can share their pitch deck and investment deck to my mail ID as well.
Well, there is a question to Arun and Aravind. For someone to work in the media behind the camera, other than qualifications, what are the qualities? But I think they already mentioned a lot of qualities required. I think they've already spoken about that. Maybe at the end of that, we can, again, sum up what are the qualities they have said. So they are sharing the link, and Devasundari, maybe you will be sharing the links that our panelists have given to.
Yeah, they have shared only to the panelists. I'm asking them to post it in the for all the attendees also.
Yeah.
நாங்க ஒண்ணே share பண்றோம் actually ஸ்டூடண்ட்ஸ்க்கு ஒண்ணே சொல்லிறேன் நான். ஏனா மீடியாக்கு உள்ள வரதுக்கு என்டர் ஆகிறதுக்கு நிறைய பேருக்கு passion இருக்கு. அது எங்க ஸ்டார்டிங் பாயிண்ட்னா அந்தந்த கிளாஸ் ரூம்ல இருக்கிற அந்தந்த ஸ்டூடண்ட்ஸ் வெறும் 2-3 பீப்பிளோட இன்டராக்ட் பண்ணாம அங்க இருக்கிற 30-40 பீப்பிளோட இன்டராக்ட் பண்ணா இதுக்கப்புறம் ஓவரால் எல்லா பிசினஸ்மே வந்துட்டு டீம் ஒர்க்கா இருந்தா சரி, இல்ல நிறைய பேர் சேர்ந்து தான் பண்ற மாதிரி இருக்குமே தவிர ஒரு இண்டிவிஜுவல் ஒரு பிசினஸ் ஆரம்பிச்சு சக்சஸ் ஆகுறது ரொம்ப ரொம்ப கஷ்டம். ஸோ இங்க எல்லாருக்குமே சப்போர்ட் தேவைப்படுது, இதுக்கப்புறம் ரொம்ப ரொம்ப தேவை. ஸோ இப்போ இருக்கிற ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் செகண்ட் இயர், தேர்ட் இயர், ஃபைனல் இயர் சொல்றது, காலேஜ் முடியறதுக்குள்ள அவங்க கிளாஸ் ரூம்ல இருக்கிற அவங்களோட ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸோட கான்டாக்ட் வந்து நிறைய ஸ்ட்ராங் ஆக்கிக்கிறது சேஃபர் ஜோன். யாரோ ஒரு தேர்ட் பர்சன், இப்ப நாங்க எல்லாமே சீனியர்ஸ்ங்கிற கேட்டகரியில தான் வருவோம், நாங்க தேர்ட் பர்சன் தான். ஸோ எங்க மேல வைக்கிற நம்பிக்கையை அவங்க பக்கத்துல உட்கார்ந்து இருக்கிற அந்த ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் நிறைய பேர் மேல வச்சாங்கன்னு சொன்னா ஃபைனல் இயர் முடிச்சுட்டு வெளில வந்தோன்னே சொல்ற மாதிரி 5 to 6 years ஒரு கம்பெனில ஒர்க் பண்ணி எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் ஆகணுங்கிற ஒரு விஷயம் ஒரு 1 yearல அந்த 5 பேரும் சேர்ந்து ஒரு இடத்துல வேலை பார்த்தாங்கன்னா அவங்களே தனியா ஒரு பிசினஸ் ஆரம்பிக்க முடியும். ஸோ அங்கேருந்து தான் எல்லாமே ஆரம்பிக்கணும். ஏன்னா நிறைய பேர் வந்து கேட்கறது தான், நான் உள்ள மீடியாக்குள்ள வரணுங்கிறது அவங்க எங்களை தெரிஞ்சுக்கிட்டு எங்களை அப்ரோச் பண்ணி உள்ள வரதுக்கே 1 year ஆயிடும். ஸோ இங்கேயே அவங்க ஸ்ட்ராங்கா அவங்க ஒரு டீமா இருந்தாங்கன்னு சொன்னா உள்ள வரும்போதே அவங்களுக்கான ஒரு ப்ராஜெக்டை நாங்க அசைன் பண்ண முடியும். ஏன்னா சிம்பிள் எக்ஸாம்பிள், லைலா காலேஜ்ல இருந்து ஒரு டீம் வராங்கன்னு சொன்னா அந்த டீம் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இயர்ஸ்ல இருந்து மீடியா ஃபுல் அண்ட் ஃபுல் மீடியா ஃபோக்கஸ்ல ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இயர்ல இருந்தே க்ரோ ஆயிருப்பாங்க. தேர்ட் இயர் முடிச்சுட்டு எங்களை பார்க்கும்போது எங்களோட ஒரு ப்ராஜெக்ட் நாங்க தூக்கி கையில கொடுத்துருவோம். பட் இங்க இருந்து வரவங்களுக்கு நாங்க எங்க ட்ரைனிங் கொடுத்து அவங்க அதுல எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் ஆகி கொடுக்கறதுக்குள்ள வேற நல்ல பீப்புள் வந்தா நாங்க அங்க போயிடுவோம். அதனால மீடியா பேஷனேட்டா இருக்கிறவங்க இப்பவே அந்த விஷயங்களை ஆரம்பிச்சிருங்க. அண்ட் ஜஸ்ட் ஃபேம் கிடைக்கணும், பாப்புலாரிட்டிக்காக மட்டுமே மீடியா கிடையாது. அங்கேயும் நீங்க ஐடி மாதிரி டெடிகேட்டடா இருந்து ஒர்க் பண்ணால் மட்டுமே தான் ஜெயிக்க முடியும்ங்கிறத அந்த ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ்க்கு தெரிவிக்கணும்னு நினைக்கிறேன்.
Thank you, Arun Aravind. Shall I just sum up some of the qualities that you have mentioned before we wind up? As I just noted a few down. So one was a networking quality that Arun Aravind just mentioned, that make sure you make good friends, make sure you network with everybody from your Ola driver to anybody, make sure you can talk to them and have some humility, manners, enterprise, continually keep up with what is happening in your area of interest. And I think Prem said Blinkist is a good area. If you don't want to read a lot, then they'll summarize it and give it to you. But do keep up with what is happening in your domain. And yeah, be committed, focused, disciplined. These are some of the words that came up when we were talking about how do you succeed. It doesn't matter. It seems not to matter in what field you want to get into. Every field seems to be requiring the same kind of qualities in a student if you wanted to succeed. Devasundari?
Yes. So thank you, ma'am. It was a great show for us.
Yes, it was a pleasure to talk to all our alumni. Thank you so much for being with us.
And on a Sunday evening, Sunday evening, a special
Sunday
evening.
Yes.
Yeah. In fact,
thanks to COVID.
Gauri,
all
we
days
have
are
to.
Sundays, right? Gauri, these days it feels like that. Whether it's a Sunday or a Monday. Monday
It's
blues,
all
no
same
more
day.
Monday blues.
And Gauri, a special thanks to you, not just for coming for this panel discussion, for initiating our alumni series. We are
exactly. I was thinking the same thing. Gauri did the first webinar. He said, I will do a webinar. And we said,
not
okay.
just he initiated the series,
yes,
actually.
And since then, there has been so many alumni webinars and we are having this panel discussion. The first idea for that came from Gauri. He started
A special thanks to you, Gauri.
He has done many other things on campus.
Thank you, and I would also like to thank the management for this opportunity, KCG management also, Anita ma'am, Devasundari ma'am, and thank you to the panelists from KCG Connect. So I'm also representing KCG Connect now. I would like to thank you all for participating. And hi, Arun Aravind. We couldn't interact. So I remember Arun Aravind, every time when they come for an event, the only thing they would say is, our aim is to entertain all of you. Right? So something coming so purely from someone, not everyone would say that. When you guys laugh, when you guys are happy because of us, that is all what we want. This is what they say. So for that itself, I think they will achieve more success and they will climb further than where they are now. And thank you, Gayathri, for giving a very happy thing to the government side, right? I've never associated government jobs to be very exciting, and so the entire mood that you bring in when it comes to the government jobs and the way you told about that, I think so many of them will be excited. So thank you, and then Prem as well.
So there are a lot of people thanking
it was
all the
actually
panelists.
very informative, Gayathri.
Thank you from others from other.
Yeah, ma'am.
It was very not just informative. I was so inspired by the confidence with which you spoke, and also the positivity that you gave to our students. You said so many. When you said lakhs of jobs are open here and there, I felt like
we all felt very happy.
I know.
Whether it's true or not, Gayathri is a good PR for the department.
Yeah.
She made us all feel very
inspiring, very inspiring. I am very much inspired with the confidence and the information that you gave. I think our students will make use of it effectively.
I'm sure, ma'am. I'm also waiting to open the lockdown. So after the open lockdown, I will surely come to KCG for one day to meet all my juniors.
Nice. That's nice. Thank you. And Prem, working with Prem, I have to also share, working with you for the past 2 months, we are also very happy with that, and immediately accepting here. And we have not been able to connect with Prem earlier, but with this opportunity, I think we'll take it forward. He'll be helping all our juniors also, as he said. Thank you so much, Prem, for joining us today for the Sunday evening.
Thanks a lot for having me, ma'am. Yeah.
Yes, Gayathri.
Yes, Gayathri.
Ma'am, once again, the main thing I came into part of because of this Amrita ma'am. So if she is available, ma'am, hi. I need to say to Amrita ma'am, she is our, I think she is our mother. For our batch, she is our mother. For her, she is, and Bindu ma'am is our mother. So for all the problems we have naughty in our
listening to you. Both of them are there listening to you. Amrita is also saying hi to you.
In the first year we were so naughty in that batch. For all the complaint to the management, only they were standing on behalf of us.
I am not sharing any of the stories of mischief that all of you got up to. Okay, I am not doing all of that here. Starting from Gauri. Gauri is looking so good and pious over there. What? Not sharing any of those stories.
And Arun and Aravind, thank you so much. You have brought in fact, when I had the status today, a few of the industry people, HRs, they messaged saying, oh, ma'am, Arun Aravind is your alumni, It's always a pride for us. And I think you have an elder brother.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Rajarajan, ma'am.
Yeah,
5 years
yeah,
ago.
Raja. So they were trying to connect him, and they said, "I know him," all that, you know. So I was able to connect with few industry people today because of your status. And happy
Oh,
Brothers Day.
Only
Happy
thing I want to
Brothers
tell
Day
Arun
also.
Aravind, don't become so
that's
famous
good.
that you forget KCG or us. Okay, however famous you become, you have to stay in connection with us.
எங்களோட ஸ்டார்டிங்
They will do. They will do.
சென்னையில நாங்க என்ன சாதிச்சாலும் சென்னையில கிடைச்ச எக்ஸ்போஷர் எல்லாமே கேசிஜி மூலமா தான். சோ அதனாலதான் நாங்க திருப்பி வருது. எங்களோட ஸ்டார்டிங் பாயிண்ட் கேசிஜி தான்.